Lucid dreaming and the visual arts. Creative, talented people do not use drugs to give them inspiration. Pete Townsend, see our video, started using drugs, but realized via Meher Baba that meditation and music itself was far more effective. Beethoven had no need of anything other than contact with nature and gentle exercise. See our videos, communing with nature and exercising and keeping fit. Enid Blyton, see our video, used only relaxation, love for her family and good food. See our video, Eating for Health. After the one unplanned experience via the dentist gas that furnished her subconscious with all she needed for a lifetime of books. Lewis Carroll, see video, watched what happened to his friends who took drugs, and this is his photo of the Rossetti family, and documented the result in Alice in Wonderland. You descend down to the level of animals, but using dreaming to ascend through the mirror and write Alice through the looking glass, where she becomes a queen. And the experiments of Henri Michaud, see video, using cannabis, mescaline and other drugs show that possession is a real danger, and death when drugged is an appalling fate. Visual arts versus musical arts. To receive musical inspiration needs the person to be able to perceive inner sounds, sounds that are not heard with the ears. Thus, the musician will use techniques where peace and quiet can be obtained or produced, meditation techniques, communing with nature, or even just relaxing in a peaceful, comfortable place, like the bath. In contrast, those in the visual arts, film, movies, videos, painting, sculpture, and computer games need to shut their eyes to imagine or receive pictures. And once one has one's eyes closed, a method is needed to ensure the pictures stay in one's memory, perceptions.
Means this or this, but every of these
Hypnagogia and Hypnopompia.
Complete mystery.
Hypnagogia is a transitional state of consciousness between being awake and being asleep. The opposite is called Hypnopompia, which is the transitional state that occurs before you wake up. And as Wikipedia states, during Hypnagogia and Hypnopompia, it's common to experience involuntary and imagined experiences. And of course, they are visual. Salvador Dali is perhaps the best known artist to use techniques to produce this half-awake, half-asleep state. He experimented with many methods. For example, he rested his chin on a spoon or his arm on a crutch, and if he started to fall asleep, his chin or arm would fall and he would wake up. In this way, he was always just on the verge of sleep. And this is where the images and ideas would flow. Juan Miro y Feria, 20th of April 1893 to the 25th of December 1983, was a Catalan painter, sculptor and ceramicist born in Barcelona. He also produced tapestries of wool and other materials. His style was all his own, despite attempts to give him the pigeonholes of surrealist, then fauvist and finally expressionist. Encouraged by his parents to attend business school as well as art school, he eventually had a nervous breakdown. But once he concentrated on art and not business, he recovered, becoming more and more abstract as time went on. This is called The Farm and is full of symbolic objects. These paintings were eventually dubbed Miro's dream paintings. And indeed, Miro was notable for his interest in the subconscious, from Wikipedia, and used both hypnagogia and lucid dreaming, experimenting to get the effects he wanted. He said, "I never dream when I'm sleeping, but I always dream while I am awake." But this form of inspiration is often short and better suited to paintings, inventions, theories, formulas, and flashes of blue sky insight. Film producers and video makers need more prolonged, moving images, dreamscapes, and moving images. The challenge then becomes how to remember the dream, and the method that a number of well-known film directors and video creators use is called lucid dreaming. Lucid dreaming. A person who has a lucid dream is asleep. They are not in a trance condition. They have passed from a waking state into unconsciousness in the normal sleep cycle. This is James Cameron, who directed the film Avatar and Lucid Dreams. But by various methods within a dream, they are able to recognize that they are dreaming. And thus from then on, they are able to preserve the memory of the dream. And this is Christopher Nolan, who began practicing lucid dreaming as a teenager and used his own dreams to conceive Inception. Some lucid dreamers can also direct events to a certain extent. And if you are a film producer, this is very useful, as you can test out storylines. Stephen King has spoken openly about his experience with lucid dreaming. His novels Insomnia and Dreamcatcher both contain heavy lucid dreaming themes. Lucid dreaming is also called dream yoga in Tibet, and we have a guest video from Shungtui Rinpoche about this technique. The technique is also used by Native Americans, Australian Aborigines, numerous African cultures, and so on. And this is a dream catcher. The Wachowskis are siblings, responsible for The Matrix, V for Vendetta, and Cloud Atlas, and both use lucid dreaming. Whilst The Matrix directly covers the concept of reality, see our video's reality, Cloud Atlas covers reincarnation, and see our video past lives. Richard Linklater is a producer, film director, screenwriter, and a lucid dreamer. He is known for his unique style in the filmmaking. His films include Slacker, 1990, and Dazed and Confused, 1993, and the Before trilogy romance films, Before Sunrise, 1995, Before Sunset, 2004, and Before Midnight, 2013, and the animated films Waking Life, 2001, and A Scanner Darkly, 2006. All these directors, plus others, and this is key, have been given awards for their imaginative methods of filmmaking, their novel and thought-provoking themes and screenplay, and the standard of their visual images. It is worth adding that directors like David Lynch, who meditates as opposed to using lucid dreaming, is creating the same state of hypnagogic consciousness, where his eyes are closed, his mind is still, and he can be in receipt of the images he requires. About our playlist. We have chosen the playlist to include those who have contributed to our understanding of lucid dreaming, for example Stephen LaBerge, Dr. Keith Hearn, Robert Wagner and Celia Green. One of the first books on lucid dreams to recognise our scientific potential was Celia Green's 1968 studies on lucid dreams. And the video, Lucid Dreams 0096, Lucid Dreams 1996, uses her work. An example of a director who uses lucid dreaming, in this case James Cameron. An example of a novel use of lucid dreaming, Can Lucid Dreaming Make You a Better Athlete? By the BBC's Nick Bright. And an example of a young man, Liam McLean, whose own experiences are well explained. Lastly, we will provide you with an extract from an article by Daniel Love entitled The Real Matrix, Lucid Dreaming. In 1999, The Matrix opened the eyes of the world to the concept of simulated realities, lucid dreaming, and the ability to overcome one's psychological programming, ushering in a new era of public interest in consciousness exploration. With the release of The Matrix Resurrections, it's likely that we'll see a new generation inspired to explore these concepts. The idea that our world is little more than an elaborate simulation is incredibly compelling, not in the sense of some artificial intelligence-run sci-fi prison, but a biological simulation. The virtual reality of perception, crafted by Mother Nature in order to help you to explore, survive and function in this universe. Our perceptual model of the world is such a compelling illusion that each moment we mistake it for true reality. It's the perfect magic trick. But ask any psychologist or neuroscientist and they'll confirm that your experience of reality is a filtered and refined biological virtual reality, a model of the universe. Our waking matrix, our perceptual map of the world, is impossible to escape, and you'd not want to, as it's the very software that allows you to exist and interface with the universe. So what is it? It's the world you are experiencing right now. The world you think you are experiencing right now is not the real world. It is a map of reality. Each night our virtual reality mind map becomes untethered from the data supplied by the senses and is allowed to roam free, and we call this state dreaming. Learn to lucid dream. But our dreams are also an illusion, which we mistake for reality. It is not until you wake each morning that you realise the strange experiences that only moments before were entirely convincing were just a dream. But like Neo, you can wake up inside of your dreams, and in doing so, you unlock the power that the knowledge that you live in a simulation brings. Becoming the one in the dream state is what we sleep researchers call lucid dreaming, knowing that you are dreaming while still dreaming. More exciting still, knowledge that you are dreaming while dreaming also allows you to control your dreams. And like Neo, you'll no longer be restrained by the rules. When you're a lucid dreamer, you won't just dodge bullets, you'll realise that the bullets are aspects of your own mind.